Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. We have already looked at the 5 most disappointing Formula 2 drivers of 2024, and now we are moving on to the 5 most surprising. Again, this isn't a list of the 5 best, it's a list of 5 drivers who did a lot better than I personally thought they would. This list was a lot harder to put together than the most disappointing list because there are not many drivers who impressed through the year, and Gabriel Bortoleto is absent because he is a star with a bright future, and we already knew that at the start of the year. So make sure you subscribe and let's jump into the video. Richard Verschoor. The Dutch driver made it onto the most surprising list last year and continues to surprise. He is a really good driver, scoring regular points and taking wins, most of which he loses through disqualifications. This was already his 4th season of Formula 2, but he has already been announced for a 5th with his new team MP. I really think he is one of the most underrated drivers on the grid, rarely getting the hype others do, but constantly outperforming expectation. He's been allowed to keep 4 of his wins, but has been disqualified from wins a few times previously, but he has done enough to finish in the top 10 in the championship in the last 2 years, and a return to MP, who he began his Formula 2 journey with back in 2021, will hopefully give the Dutchman and the Dutch team their best year yet. Joshua Durksen, the best Paraguayan race driver ever, had a sterling first season in Formula 2, even after I completely wrote him off as a flop signing, or maybe because I said he would be near the bottom of the table with very few points. In fact, he has taken 2 wins and 2 further podiums and finished 10th overall. He did have a long run of not scoring points, but in the second half of the year was an ever-present in the top 10 of races. The fact AIX haven't made plans to snap him up for 2025 already really baffles me. I really hope they don't return in 2025 with Niels Coulinan and Kian Shields, because they were as good as Brad Benavides, Roy Nissany and Josh Mason. The PHM AIX team have made 2 good decisions since replacing Cheroots in Formula 2, signing Joshua Durksen and signing Taylor Barnard. They took 3 wins between them in 2024. Sign Durksen so you can get at least a couple more in 2025, and sign someone half decent to join him. For the love of God, do not sign the likes of Michael Belov and Tommy Smith, because you'll just sink back to last. Franco Colapinto. I mean, obviously, right, his stock has risen very quickly in the world of motorsport. Never finished higher than 4th in the Formula 3 Championship. He didn't even get to complete 1 full season of Formula 2. Picked by Williams to replace the beleaguered Logan Sargent, he scored points on his 2nd Formula 1 start at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and is probably only losing out on a Red Bull seat in 2025 because of a couple of big accidents. He is still highly regarded after a strong Formula 2 campaign, saw him take a single win and finish 9th overall, despite missing half the season. And I think we will almost certainly see the Argentinian back in Formula 1 by 2026, possibly earlier if someone loses a drive mid-season. And I did not see that coming at the start of 2024. I knew Colapinto was good, and I even said he was going to be the first Argentine to race in Formula 1 since Gaston Mazecan, but I didn't expect it to happen in 2024, and therefore it was a rather large surprise. Jack Crawford, 5th in the championship, a win at Barcelona, several very good performances. It's not that I didn't think Jack Crawford had it in him, but I certainly see him as more of a midfield-bound driver. 5th is very good. Other drivers who have finished 5th in Formula 2 include Victor Martins, Ayumu Iwaza, Teo Pucher, Nikita Mazepin, Jack Aitken, Artem Markelov, and Nicholas Latifi. Okay, so some of them were good and all the others raced in Formula 1. I can't imagine Jack Crawford getting a Formula 1 drive, but this might be encouraging to maybe an IndyCar, or at the very least an Indy NXT team looking for a good young American driver. He beat Andrea Kimi Antonelli, that alone is worthy of note. This season was a big improvement over his first in Formula 2, and he is already announced for Dams in 2025. Another improvement could see him in the title picture. Paul Aron. The Estonian was championship leader at one point in the season, and it looked like it was going to be a straight fight between him and Isack Hadjar. Gabriel Bortoleto really pulled the rug out from under both of them. It was a poor run of results that killed Paul Aron's season from Silverstone to Monza, but he was still technically in with a slim chance of winning the championship coming into the final round. That's all in his first year. A lack of wins was a problem. He didn't take a win until the Qatar feature race, but he did get 8 podiums throughout the year. His consistency was enough to take him to the lead of the championship despite a lack of wins. And that hasn't gone unnoticed, as he will now be the reserve driver for Alpine for 2025. Who knows, if Jack Doohan has a really poor start to the season, then maybe Paul Aron will become the first Estonian to race in Formula 1. So they are my most surprising drivers in Formula 2 for 2024, to go alongside my most disappointing drivers. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree with my assessments of these 10 drivers, or was there someone else in the field that really stood out as a potential future star? Maybe someone on this list you found to be really disappointing. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more motorsport content, which will continue in the off season and really ramp up as the new year begins in just a couple of weeks. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.